Hello, everyone, and welcome to our very first Alumni Changemakers Celebration. It is so great to see all of you and to have you with us. Thank you for taking some of your important time for this celebration. Tonight, we are celebrating 40 years of creating college graduates. And for those of you who might be joining us for the very first time, my name is Kim Mazuka, and I have had the privilege of serving as 10,000 Degrees President and CEO for the last 22 years. And during this time, nothing has given me greater pleasure than to witness young people achieve their dreams, go on to fulfilling careers, and to go on to inspire their families and their communities. To witness their great potential and their brilliance come to life, I have to say there is just nothing more beautiful than that. And that's what we're celebrating tonight. At 10,000 Degrees, we take this time each year to take a collective pause, to celebrate all the good that's in the world, all of our joy, and all of our many blessings and deep gratitude. So I want to take this moment to thank all of you for your incredible generosity and all the love that you have given to all of us and to our students over these many years. Thank you. I also want to thank our lead sponsor for this wonderful celebration tonight, Bank of America. Thank you for your longstanding partnership and for generously sponsoring the awards that will be presented tonight to our 5 Alumni Changemakers. In just a bit, you will all get a chance to hear from each of them. I also want to thank all of our sponsors, Eric Bindleglass and Gabrielle Tierney, Sandy Donnell and Justin Fagioli, Graham and Talia Brandt, Brower and Janikowski, Mark and Katie Mulkecki, Toby and Susie Mumford, Sharon Siegel, Derek Koo and Vicky Tang, John Jorgensen, Nikhil Sharma, Ellie Shepard and Peter Haddock, Barbara and John Russell, Trish Hayward and Jeff Depew, and Umpqua Bank. Thank you so much for sponsoring this great evening for all of us and for all that you do for our community. I also want to recognize one other very special group of people who during these last 20 months inspired, guided, and supported thousands of students to persist on their educational pathway, to stay the course, and to never give up. They were our students' first responders, our 10,000 Degrees staff. And more than half of our staff are now alumni, and 41 are fellows. The 10,000 Degrees Fellowship Program was established in 2012 from the support of very generous friends and supporters. And it was created to provide a very intentional leadership and career development pathway for our recent college graduates. Each fellow returns and they make a 2 to 3 year commitment. They receive a competitive salary, comprehensive employee benefits, and we train them with very deep content expertise to go out and support our students with near-peer mentoring while helping them navigate the college success journey, life both on and off of campus. And there is nothing more powerful for a young person to have somebody, a near-peer mentor along your side who says, I see you and I believe in you. And all of our fellows share similar lived experiences to our students, and they deeply understand what our students are experiencing and the challenges they are encountering through the pathway. Since 2012, we have supported 87 fellows, many of whom have been promoted to college managers and to even directors at our organization. Many have gone on to graduate school, law school, medical school, and on to their careers. Today, our fellows are leading the way for the 12,000 students that we are serving across 7 Bay Area counties. Our model, we provide the college and the financial aid advising, the scholarships and the financial aid management, the near-peer mentoring, the transfer support from community college to the 4-year, and we make sure they graduate. We are supporting more than 2,400 students in college today with our scholarships and our student support. Thanks to our supporters this year, we supported our 2,400 students with more than $4.5 million in scholarships. And we leveraged an additional $27 million in free financial aid. And that means our students, they're graduating with 88% less loan debt than the average student. And they're graduating at a rate that is almost unmatched by most colleges and universities. Our students who start at the 4-year, they are graduating at 80% plus within 6 years with their college degree. And our students who start at community college, they're graduating at 3 times the national average with their college degree within 6 years. Never has it been more challenging than these last couple of years. So I would like to take a moment to pay tribute to the 10,000 Degrees staff, our fellows, and our alumni for everything that they have done for these 20 months and never giving up.
This is the first org that actually did support me, because every other org that I had tried joining kind of pushed me away just because either my college path wasn't 4-year bound, GPA, or for whatever reason, I was denied. So I kind of didn't want to come to 10,000 Degrees because it sounded the same. I went to our summer program, and within like the first 2 days, I noticed that this was actually not the same as other programs. That they were actually looking for students like myself. That piece really stuck to me, and I kind of wanted to come back to give back.
I always think back to being like, a very timid and just very, just student that was really lost and really didn't really understand where life was taking me. In all honesty, like I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for 10,000 Degrees and the advisors and just the staff that really supported me throughout the way. I hope that I'm able to share and pass on to other students and other within my team too, that it's always okay to ask questions and advocate for ourselves and for all others.
When I was in college, I got the opportunity to work really closely with a middle school in Santa Ana, and it was particularly working with 8th grade girls around a lot of things, whether that was positive body image or like mental health. And I thought that education is so much more than just, good grades. It's really about knowing as a holistic, like as a person, how can I be successful and get the skills to pursue whatever that is.
At every turning point that I want to try something different, do something different, the organization is either changing or they allow me to go out and be and implement new programming and curriculum. Originally, we started off with just working with high school students, and then it was, what does the data show? And then it's like, how do we go out and do this, create programming that is because of the data that we see? Not just let me try something and throw it at the wall and see if it sticks, but we've been serious about the data, we're serious about the resources we put in, and we're serious about the growth and reaching all of our first-gen low income and newcomer students, or at-risk students, which is our target population.
There's still so many students to reach, to support, and that's what keeps me at 10,000 Degrees, that we really make an impact and that we are providing a support that sometimes the colleges can't provide because of capacity, and also just a near peer that we are able to support students who come from similar backgrounds, from similar lived experiences. And we look like our students, right? And that's really powerful.
I couldn't imagine myself at a 4-year campus, especially because I just didn't see many people like me at those campuses. So when I went to it was like a weekend trip at UC Davis, I saw students who looked like me, and that surprised me. So then when I saw them, I was like, wait, I can do it too. If they're here, if we have similar backgrounds, I can be here next year. And that pushed me to apply and to believe that I could get in. By doing the work that I do, by being present and just reminding students that we're the same. I was in your seat a few years ago too.
I remember it was like the day of the deadline. I had to choose pretty much which school to attend. And I remember I was pretty much set on going to UC Santa Cruz, and I texted my 10KD advisor, Jeanette, at the time. and she actually invited me to the office to accept my offer. So we were pretty much in the conference room, and she was sitting right next to me when I accepted my offer at UC Santa Cruz. And, when I look back to my entire college experience, like I always think of this moment because it really meant a lot for me that the organization was there for me for like a really important moment in my life.
When I was a scholarship recipient, I would get like text messages and maybe emails from Scott. I distinctly remember like those messages being sent were always very strength-based and positive. When I started working at 10,000 Degrees, I saw that this was also true for like the program evaluation side of things, where we try to make sure that our forms use like strength-based language, and we try to make our forms accessible.
Having that program experience and also having the student experience, I can speak to the work from a firsthand perspective. And I think that really helps illustrate the breadth of our work to funders. And I can give really specific examples of how we see things play out in our schools and with our students and their families. So it really helps to be able to talk about our work to the fullest extent.
What I'm most proud of is that I continue to do work that it feels like it matters. Even now in my role as a data team member, I might not be making an impact on the day-to-day life of a student, but I'm making a difference in the life of a fellow who needs these systems to be able to provide a support for our students and to be able to tell their stories, back up the stories of our students with numbers.
One of the things that I really enjoy is to not stop dreaming. The team I'm part of with new markets, growing 10,000 Degrees in these communities, specifically Napa and West Contra Costa, I see the impact of what collaboration looks like. I see the impact of what we can do together, and I love being a part of that, helping more students get connected, helping other team members grow. And so I would say that is how I feel. I'm a part of making change, positive change.
I had one student, and I'm never gonna forget this. He said something really nice. He said, Saga, I hope you're doing well because I need you to be like my light through all of this. And that was just really nice to hear from a student. And then apart from that, I've just had students who will come in and be like, oh, thank you. I feel so comfortable talking to you. I feel like this is not something that I find. And I also reinforce it with, there's no wrong way of doing college as long as you're doing college. Like whether you're going to a community college, you're going to a 4-year, it's something that you feel proud of doing.
To all the 10,000 Degrees staff, you are amazing. You are the light. Thank you so much for your tireless efforts over these past 20 months. And it's getting better. When our alumni return as fellows to work in support of their younger peers, when a corporate partner funds programs or hosts internships, when an individual donor chooses to give and support our programs, when a volunteer volunteers their time and experience, this is You Belong and I Believe in You in action. And it is this transformative, change-making power of believing in our students that they rise. And you've seen that. As future leaders, conscious citizens, curious creators, they are powered to excel in their futures, in their lives, in their communities, and on their change-making path. This is what we celebrate tonight. Over the course of the last several weeks, more than 10,000 alums were nominated to receive an inaugural Alumni Changemaker Award. And every single one of those nominations, they are all changemakers. They are all exceptional and accomplished individuals, and they're all spreading goodness throughout our communities and the world. But we could only select 5 for tonight. And here they are.
as I was going through a lot of trials and tribulations. Music was something that now I was able to use to help me cope and help me express my feelings and my thoughts and navigate through those tough times. When I became homeless, I was sleeping in my car, just going through a lot of situations to even make it to college. And despite the changes that were happening, music was that one thing that I could always come back to. So that's why it's so meaningful to me. And because I love it so much, I came to the realization that it's something I want to do for the rest of my life. Right now, I work at a college prep school, and it's in my neighborhood of Richmond, really close to where I live. And so I feel that I'm able to now show myself as somebody that went through that process, that, you know, comes from the same place as these kids, and showing like, wow, I got a degree, I got to perform at my graduation, I'm getting to do something that I love. And that's accelerated because of the fact that I went to college and I got all of these skills and these connections. So I think it just is important representation, and also just allows me to give little pieces of advice to students where they're at right now, even in elementary, to help them think about their future, to help them think about themselves as a future college graduate.
I've been working with the Luther Burbank Center for the Arts, and I'm the music specialist there, which means I direct the mariachi program, where we have 93 kids who come during the entire year to learn music. And during the summer, we go out to different communities and take instruments to schools and look for kids who want to play music. I teach music, but music is only 1% of what I want them to do. I want them to become doctors, I want them to become lawyers, I want them to become whatever they want. But I want to show them that there's a path for them. Sometimes we are lost, or our families don't know how to enter that path. Yes, like when I was in high school, that I didn't think I wanted to do college. My parents didn't think that was important. So I want to be there for these kids. With my music, they feel very happy. And if I tell them the way I did it and all the things I did, they trust me, and they know. I have some students, they're like, oh, maybe I should apply just like you did. So I'm an example for them that even if it looks impossible, there's a way to do it.
I serve as a full-time admin associate for Making Waves Foundation's college and alumni program in Richmond. I really want to share those resources I gained in terms of scholarships and colleges and what kind of programs are out there to support first-gen students and low-income students. I feel that that's very similar to what I do with my 3 younger siblings, trying to guide them through a process that I already went through. And we need to have a diverse body at these institutions, because this is where the leaders who are going to take decisions in the future are being shaped and made. And understand that what society thinks of as challenges, because they are, like being first gen or low income or a minority, are also strengths. They're all double-edged swords. So it's really about how we use the knowledge we have and tell ourselves that those are not our weaknesses, but our strong points.
I'm currently working full-time as a program manager with a youth development agency up in Sacramento, and we serve students as young as 3rd grade sometimes, but we typically serve 6th graders all the way through high school. And so our goal is to create a safe space for students to come together, to check in on one another, and to really explore topics that they are interested in, and then from there, lead them and guide them to execute a youth-led advocacy projects. Many adults will tell students and will tell young people they are the next generation of leaders, but there's not a lot of opportunities afforded to them, right? So how can we expect them? How can we place a high expectation on them if we're not giving them the opportunity to really grow and to learn? And so one of my roles is to do just that, give them those opportunities, connect them to those opportunities, and to connect them to the resources that they might need to be the best versions of themselves.
I currently work at Bridge the Gap as the Dean and College Success Manager, where I work with our senior high school students and our college students. When we see the world as it is, and we see that it's a lot of problems in it, and we see how small we might be to those problems, but we still go out there and try to make change. We still try to influence people. I think I would like to be known for that, like that person, the little engine that could. Definitely the person that's like, no, we can still keep going. We still have work to do. I see the impact that I've made by so many people reaching out to me, especially all of my students that I worked with that were in high school, that were seniors a long time ago and now have families of their own. I ugly cried the other day with one of my students because they were like, I got into middle school, like, and look how far I've come. And they're like, my parents didn't even believe in me, but you believed in me. And I'm like, don't do this. So I'm so proud of them. So if they see this, I just want them to know too, like, I'm extremely proud of all of you. And they know how authentic I am because they'll know I'll cry on their phones too. So.
Good evening, everybody. Buenas tardes. My name is Carla Santiago, and I'm the Director for 4-Year Success and Alumni at 10,000 Degrees. Seeing that video just makes me even more excited to be here tonight for you all to get to know our alumni a little bit more in detail. I work with our team of staff to support our college success scholars pursue their higher education goals as they pave their career pathways with us throughout these next couple of years. I'm excited to introduce our following alumni. They speak to our finalist panels. These two alumni form part of our leadership in our Young Professionals Council, also known as YPC. The YPC is a group of young professional leaders who support the 10,000 Degrees mission through strategic initiatives. And the council began in 2013 with 9 members and today represent a diverse mix of individuals with a common interest in giving back to their community by supporting our scholars from low-income backgrounds in pursuit of their higher education and career goals. This year, we're excited to have our 2 co-chairs, Annie and Eugene, leading our group of young professionals through these specific initiatives as they're developing our alumni programming, our career mentorship support, and fundraising initiatives alongside our staff. So let's all give a warm welcome to our 2 co-chairs, Annie and Eugene, as I pass to them their virtual mic.
Thank you so much, Carla. And first off, hi, everyone. Thank you all for coming. My name is Eugene Shea, and I'm emeritus and also 10,000 Degrees alumni from the class of 2020, which is fairly recent. And I joined the 10,000 Degrees community about halfway through my college career when the organizations merged, and I've been involved ever since. And as Carla mentioned, I'm currently one of the co-chairs of the YPC. But just taking a step back, and before all of that, I want to highlight how I came across this fantastic organization. Like many others in this room, I grew up as the son of 2 immigrant parents in the Bayview and Visitation Valley neighborhoods in San Francisco. And my parents worked very standard, blue-collar immigrant jobs as a grocery store clerk or as a chef due to their lack of English skills. And at an early age, I had understood the importance of attaining higher education as a means of both social mobility and also financial security. But I had no clue on where to start or where to even go. What does all this mean? And like most, I suppose, lost university students or high school students go, you go online and you do a little bit of research and you try to find some resources for yourself and make what you can out of a not so great situation. And I had all this motivation and drive to succeed. And I was able to find Emeritus and now 10,000 Degrees as this fantastic organization to support me to and through college and to where I am today. And it was through their continued guidance and mentorship that I was able to graduate from the University of California, Irvine with a bachelor's in business economics and as the first in my family to attend a 4-year university. And now professionally, I work as a management consultant with Oliver Wyman. And as a Bay Area native and now 10,000 Degrees alumni, I've always been extremely passionate about the mission and the community that this organization provides. Ever since joining the program, I found new and meaningful ways to see how I can lend my support, whether that's directly devoting my time to mentoring new students who were at the UC Irvine campus, or referring my internship managers in the summer to attend workshops or career panels. Now, being on the YPC, it provides an extremely unique opportunity for me as a young professional and also program alumni to create an impact on a much higher level and give back to an organization that's played such an influential role in my life. As a member of the YPC and being one of the co-chairs, I hope to inspire other 10,000 Degree scholars and alumni to get even more involved with the organization. I truly feel that without the guidance and support from 10,000 Degrees, I wouldn't be the person and individual that I am today. And now I'd like to introduce the co-chair, the second half of the YPC, another emeritus alumni, Annie Shea.
Well, thanks, Eugene. That was amazing. By the way, Eugene and I didn't get to coordinate in advance what we were going to say. So I wrote my script about 30 minutes ago, and I'm going to just try my best to speak from my heart, because I think I'm speaking to the right audience so everybody will understand what I'm trying to say. Well, hello, everybody. My name is Annie Shea, and I'm a new co-chair of YPC and also a 2015 alum of Emeritus College Fund. I currently live in Washington, D.C., and I work as a go-to-market manager at Equilibrium, a wholly owned subsidiary of Viscono, which is a global technology and information services company headquartered in the DC area. I was born in Southern China, and I immigrated to the US with my family at age 12 without speaking any English. So like Eugene and many Emeritus and 10,000 Degrees alumni with us here tonight, I grew up in a low-income family in San Francisco, and I was also the first person in my family to attend a four-year university in the US. My parents struggled to find well-paying jobs due to their language barriers, so they had to work multiple jobs to make ends meet. And I'm sure a lot of people that have gone through this experience before can resonate with me today. It's not easy. So to support my family, I started working at a very young age. Through Emeritus, I got my first internship placement at The Melt, a fast casual grilled cheese restaurant chain when they first opened in San Francisco. Believe me, I didn't think I was gonna work in a grilled cheese place as my first internship, but it was the coolest job I could get at the time, as an 18-year-old really hungry for professional development opportunity. And it was a really cool marketing position within a somewhat of a tech environment. And I would just foreshadow to say today, actually, I also work at a technology company out in DC, and I happen to have just finished my last position in the marketing team, which happened about like 10 years later after that internship. So believe it or not, Emeritus really gave me my first step into this professional field, and I'm so grateful for the opportunity because it set me on the path that I am on today. As a Emeritus scholar, I benefited a lot from various college success programs such as internship placements, mentorship programs, professional development and workshops, and site visits to amazing companies like Intuit, Genentech, LinkedIn, and etc. And I've also gained a really strong support network. I've had amazing mentors and scholarship donors whom I still talk to regularly today. And I see tremendous values in providing these same opportunities for students like me. And so it is of no coincidence, actually, that Eugene and I are leading YPC today. We both have a strong passion for youth empowerment and community development. And we're both so proud to be part of this amazing organization to give back to a community that has given us so much more. And at YPC, we organize regular fundraisers and events to support 10,000 Degree students and engage young professionals in the Bay Area. And even though I'm not in the Bay Area, I still participated regularly through the virtual environment. So if you're not based in the Bay Area, that's okay too. You can always participate and support in any way. And YPC represents young professionals from diverse backgrounds with a common interest in giving back and supporting the community, and helping students from low-income backgrounds. And I believe you're here tonight because you are also inspired by the amazing work that 10,000 Degree students and alumni are doing. And so if you're a graduating student, a recent grad, or a working professional, I urge you to join us and get involved with YPC, or just join us at the next YPC social and fundraising events. We'll have a number of them coming up next year, and we're really excited to have you participate. With that, I'm really thankful for the opportunity to share my story with you today, and I'd like to invite our 5 Alumni Changemaker finalists to join us on the virtual stage and share a little bit of their story with us. As they join us on the stage here, I have the lovely pleasure of kicking off our first question for the finalists. Let me see. Kayla, I see you on my screen. You're my first person. I'm really excited to ask you the first question, and I'm really excited to learn more about your story too. Kayla, I know that you are a board member with Hip Hop for Change. As we're listening to your story in the video, I was really inspired. Can you talk more about that organization? What do they do, and how did you get involved?
Hey, thank you so much. Good evening, everybody. So I'm like a little frazzled because I just came from teaching my 3rd grade music production class. So I just made it home. They're making some great beats, but that's actually kind of what part of what we do for Hip Hop for Change is that we bring hip hop curriculum to kids as young as in kindergarten all the way up through 12th graders, and we'll come and throw school-wide assemblies, a lot like the ones that we would do for 10,000 Degrees to educate, students on their options for financial aid. But instead we're educating them on hip hop culture, the original elements, DJing, graffiti, breakdancing, and of course emceeing, and giving these students an opportunity to learn the art of rhyme or to learn music production. And hip hop has been crucial to my life. It's the basis of the curriculum that I developed at UC Berkeley, and I took those skills and brought them to 10,000 Degrees to become the curriculum development fellow. So for me, it's very much intertwined. It's really important to my identity and my self-expression, and I just love being able to give those kids the tools to express themselves in a creative way and be able to share their story. So I got actually involved when I was at UC Berkeley. They were canvassing on campus, and I looked at the artists that they had, and there was one artist that I didn't really feel like represented the community, and so I called him out. I said, I don't know if I could support your organization if you support this artist. So they took him off and they put me there instead. And that's pretty much like 10 years in the making, and then here I am now.
Thank you, Kayla. Eugene, do you want to touch the next question?
Yeah, thank you so much, Kayla. It's extremely inspiring. I love hearing that story. Next question I have is for Jose. And we know that you're a first-generation college graduate. And much like myself, I resonate with a lot of your experiences on the video there. And what I would like to hear a little bit more about is, your college journey, and particularly, how has 10,000 Degrees helped you on that path?
Hello, everybody. Well, I have to say that when I first saw the email saying that I was, selected to do this, I said, no more, no more. And not because it was just because I always felt I couldn't believe that every single year I got support. And I know there's people that deserve this even more than me, and I just couldn't believe it. But just like at the beginning, our president of 10,000 Degrees said, I always felt like I had somebody. I always felt like I had somebody that gave me support. The first year I went to college, I got $14,000, including the 10,000 Degrees and another scholarships that I got. And for my dad, he couldn't believe it. He made $25,000 every year, and he was just like, really? You got $14,000 to go to school? yes, go. And that was the first thing that inspired not only me but all my family to see that there was hope. And as I was in my classes, I always wanted to do like business. I was playing music, but I was just like, am I doing the right thing? And I would talk to my counselors, I would talk to all my friends, and they would be like, yeah, just do what your heart is telling you. And it was just like, yeah, I love music, but I don't know if that's gonna give me some money for the future. I'm looking into changing my life. And every time I went to my counselors, they were like, you have to do what your heart is telling you. And for me, that was music. And I couldn't believe that I was being supported to study what I love. Now, a lot of people nowadays don't believe in the arts. And for me to find out that there was somebody that wanted to send me to study what I love, that was huge. It was a change in my life. I want to say I have 93 kids who come every single week to study music. And my goal, like I said before, is that they go to college. And if I did it and I came to this country when I was 15 and I didn't speak a word of English, they can do it. I want them to learn about these organizations like 10,000 Degrees because it took me to where I am today, and I know it can take them to the same place.
Jose, that is amazing. I wish I could come up and give you a high five because I also played music in high school. I went to public art school, School of the Arts in San Francisco, and actually, unfortunately, I knew very early on I wasn't talented enough to pursue it as a career, and I know how tough it is to make it out there in the music industry. So really kudos to you and for all the amazing work you do with your students, because I know it is not an easy job, and it's not easy to get there. And I'm amazed, by what you've done so far and what you continue doing. So thank you so much for sharing your story with us. Okay, well, next, Rocio, I have a question for you. Like Jose, you're also a board member at the Roseland School District in Sonoma County, where you went to high school. Can you talk more about that?
Yes. So for me, I studied culture and politics while at Georgetown, and I primarily focused on education. I was a Roseland School District student starting in kinder through 12th grade. And while I was a student, I noticed in high school that there was a lack of connection between our decision makers and community members, including my non-English speaking parents. And so for me, it was very important to use my time at Georgetown to conduct some research around that lack of connection between our school board and the community. I found myself coming back to the Roseland area due to COVID. I had taken a job in New York and then did not have a need to be out there. And as I found myself coming back, I found that it was now the time for me to give back. And when there was a vacancy, I applied for that and was able to become a part of the board. And I've really tried to dedicate my time on the board I've been on there since March until now, to really bridging this communication barrier between board members who don't represent the Roseland community as best as they could in terms of being able to relate and being first gen or low income or being of immigrant background or being Spanish speaking. And so trying to bridge that. I am the youngest board member there and I'm the only alumna. So for me, it's really important to continuously put the voices of students. I still have 2 siblings that attend the district, so I'm very well aware of all the issues that happen on the ground. And my parents are still there, so putting forth the concerns that people like my parents have and trying to get more awareness in the community about the importance of school boards, the importance of serving on them, and the importance of attending school board meetings to hold school board members accountable to what the community really needs, so that decisions reflect the needs of the community.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Rosie. It's truly inspiring. And my next question is for Wendy. And I believe that you are one of our Emeritus alumni prior to the 10,000 Degrees merger, so I wanted to shout you out. We love seeing Emeritus representation, and that's where Annie and I kind of found out about all this fantastic organization. And our question to you is, since your Emeritus days, it's been a little bit, but you've been working with over 300 youth in the Sacramento area to build and advocate for a healthier and brighter future for them. And our question for you is, how did you get involved in all that?
Yeah, that's a really great question. Throwing out my age out there with the Emeritus. No, I'm just kidding. Hi, everyone. I'm Wendy Lee, and I'm just very humbled to just be here and to be voted in as a finalist. Personally, I have always enjoyed community service and get involved with community work. In fact, I used to get in good trouble, or actually just trouble in general, in high school with my parents, just to volunteer and just be out and about in the community to do good work in the community, right? But my parents wanted me to stay in and study, which is probably the reason why my GPA wasn't the highest in high school, but that definitely turned around when I was in college, right? Got my act together and was like, okay, I definitely need to focus on my academics, get good grades and whatnot. But I've always just loved being part of the community and doing community service work, whether it was volunteering for those marathons or doing like the food service events. Or I remember even then, like when I was involved with school board meetings and whatnot, anytime we'd have leftover food, I just take it with me and also give it to people as I was going home. So I was just always so connected to the community. But really my journey too also really started in college when I ran our government department's Odyssey mentoring program. I was a sole coordinator. And within that role, similar to what Meredith was doing for me at the time, I was overseeing mentor-mentee relationships, about 300 at the time as well over the years that I was doing it. And it was really to help incoming freshmen and transfers get acquainted to a new environment, to feel supported while providing professional experiences for our mentors. And in overall, just really directing them to the resources that they needed to succeed and thrive and finish college and to be prepared for college afterwards. And ironically, when I did graduate, because I was so focused on other people, I honestly wasn't so sure about what my personal next steps were. But I knew that I wanted to stay in Sacramento and stay close to the Capitol, to be close to the political action. And a community connection had referred me to Pro Youth and Families. And that is the current youth development agency that I work for. And they had an opening for a youth civic engagement specialist. And that was it. And the rest was just history. I never imagined myself working with young people, but at the end of it, it just made so much sense for me to just be within this field, to really focus on empowering young people to feel like they do have a voice, to feel like they are and can be change makers in their communities. And really, since being with Pro, I've had the wonderful opportunity to work on a variety of different programs and side projects, but to really intentionally work with students in schools and community members and stakeholders to help them recognize and bring light to what are the most pressing issues that our young people are facing. And those issues will vary from community to community and school to school, but helping them recognize, whatever it is that they are curious about, passionate about, or want to just explore, let's do that. Let's give them an avenue to do that. Let's give them a safe space to be able to explore, right? And from that, I've helped with students work on projects and come out with some really amazing presentations around substance prevention, around mental health and wellness. I've had students advocate in front of city council members on the new civic center design and just the things that they want to see changed within their own cities, right? But ultimately, the real reason why I got into this work and involved in this work that I do is because I do want to be a mentor to young people and to be able to be a support to communities that I work with, just as I also had a strong community and strong network of trusted adults, right? In order so that the communities that I do work with are able to build healthier and brighter futures for themselves. But that really starts with us empowering each other, and giving each other empathy, and especially giving each other grace during, these chaotic times. But ultimately, I just think the world needs more kindness, more education, and access to healthcare. That also leads me into me pursuing a master's in public health. So I'm excited for all the next steps that my young people are going to do and the next steps that I'll be doing as well.
That's amazing, Wendy. If you're on mute, let's give her a silent snap or hand clap or something. Thanks so much for the work that you do with all the youth. It is truly amazing. And to say the least, all 5 of you are obviously, here tonight, because you're recognized as our alumni change makers, but each one of you are doing such amazing things in your community. You're creating change makers and you're uplifting community. And it's so amazing that you're here with us. Well, last but not least, I'm really excited about this one. China, is that how I should pronounce your name? Okay, as you can tell, we didn't get to coordinate this. I just want to confirm before I go on. Is that correct?
Yes, China.
Okay. Good. Okay. Well, China, last year you started a business called College Snacks. That's really cool. Actually, it's a cool name too. Why did you start this business? What was your focus when you were thinking about this idea? And I will ask you one more question after you get through this, and that is more around the Community Warriors program that you have. But let's start with those. Why did you start this business, and how did you end up doing this?
Definitely, Annie. Thank you so much. I started the business because of my own food insecurities in college. So my freshman year, I did incredible in college. I got like a 3.8, almost a 4.0. I had dorms, I had cozy dorm and food and all these things. And my sophomore year, I did not have a dorm secured. And so that kind of snowballed into something else, which made it hard for me to find housing. And I also ended up being food insecure during my sophomore year of college, as well as my junior year. As you may think, my grades went from that 3.8 and took like a nosedive, definitely, because I was worried about so many other things, like, where to like actually sleep and things like that. So that ended up being a really just troubling time for myself. And once I became a college advisor, I noticed the same pattern with my scholars. And I've been an advisor for almost about 8 years now, and just noticing when I have my check-ins with my students that they're telling me similar things. Like maybe the freshman year is going great, but after that, it tends to get harder. And so I decided that I wanted to really focus on food insecurity. That's something that I could do just by myself, by sending a care package to students. And so that's where it began. My focus is food security amongst college students by promoting community sharing. As you may know, if you've ever been in college, sometimes it's a dog-eat-dog world out there when it comes to food, snacks, your drinks, all those things. And so we really try to promote just like community sharing by having like food stickers and all these other really cool gadgets to help students really, just vibe with each other. And we also just have access to food resources. So I always have a bunch of links and other things for students to participate in order to get free grocery gift cards or just things like that. So just to promote that food security.
That's awesome. Can you also share a little bit more about the Community Warriors program that you've started? And why did you choose to have your Community Warriors programs be directed toward 10,000 degree students?
Definitely. Of course, because I'm alumni from 10,000 degrees. I've worked for 10,000 degrees for a very long time. And those are my students. Those are my first babies. So of course, I'm directing it towards our 10,000 degree students. And our community warriors are people who decided to donate to help with these care packages because shipping is pretty darn expensive. and I'm paying out of pocket a lot of these costs to make sure that I send this stuff to students. And so if you're interested in being a community warrior, you can definitely check out our website, collegesnacks.com, and look into our community warrior program. This community warrior program is synced with our anonymous snacks packs program, where I have students register and fill out a form if they're interested in a care package. And this is if they may need one, and whatever it may be, but most of our 10,000 degree students sign up through following from their fellows, talking to fellows or their managers, and getting that information to them. So a lot of them have signed up and registered to receive these snack packs. And so the community warriors help by donating and making sure that we get them the care package straight to their door.
That's amazing. You can buy a package and you can give a package to 10,000 degree students. So please check it out. I know after this call tonight, I'm going to order one for my brother. So if you have kids in college, cousins, nephews, friends, send them a box and support a good cause. And so with that wraps up our interviews tonight. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here with us tonight. And thank you for sharing your story. And with that, I will go ahead and pass it over to Kim.
Thank you, Annie. Well, first of all, I don't know if you've taken a look, but look in the chat. There is so much love right now, excuse me, that is being shared for all of our change makers, and so much appreciation for the work that you're doing out there. Thank you. Eugene and Annie, I just want to thank you so much for your incredible leadership of the Young Professionals Council and what you're doing to share the good work that 10,000 Degrees is doing, and for supporting our students. So thank you. And to our awardees, our Changemaker alums, soon we are going to present something to you. But first, what I'd like to do is, where is Carla? Carla Santiago, I want to thank you. Carla joined us when Meritus integrated with 10,000 Degrees. You do incredible work for us. You're an incredible leader, and it is such a pleasure to work alongside you. So thank you so much for all that you do. Okay, now to present the Alumni Changemaker Awards is one of our community's greatest corporate changemaker. We are a very proud partner of Bank of America and fortunate to have been selected this year as one of their neighborhood champions. This is a major initiative that the bank is sponsoring. They are supporting 50 communities across the country in building their capacity, and it's an investment of over $22 million. And we are one of those 50 communities, so we are very grateful to the bank. Over the years, Bank of America has supported 10,000 Degrees and our students in countless ways, like providing our students with internships, our staff with leadership and networking opportunities. They've also have sponsored our events and have provided needed grant support. And they've connected us with really great employee volunteers, such as 10,000 Degrees board member, Mark Milkecki. And I want to take a moment to acknowledge you, Mark, and to thank you for all that you do for our 10,000 Degrees community, for our students and the broader community. Mark is part of the Bank of America. He is a market executive for the Greater Bay Area. Thank you, Mark. And now it is my pleasure to introduce Amy Laughlin, Senior Vice President, Market Manager of the Bank of America, to present this evening's awards. Amy is a true community advocate, partner, and champion, and is leading the bank's community impact through many of their philanthropic initiatives and also through volunteerism. Amy.
Thank you so much, Kim. And this has been such a great night. I appreciate all of you. I am totally moved by all that you do. So first of all, thank you to all of you change makers. Tonight, I get to tell you a little bit about our relationship with 10,000 Degrees, and I also get to share 2 exciting announcements. I'm going to talk really quickly about Neighborhood Champions, which Kim mentioned. At Bank of America, we've known for a really long time that issues of racial equality and economic opportunity are deeply connected. Our country's history has shown that where there are racial or ethnic injustices, there is often a lack of economic mobility and vice versa. Equitable access to high quality education and employment opportunities are two of the most powerful levers that we can pull to help overcome injustice. 10,000 Degrees consistently works to break down the barriers that stand between students and both of those opportunities. That's why we're so delighted to have been partners since at least 2010. I was looking through our history, that's as far back as I can go, but at least 2010. And I'm also really happy to share with you that 10,000 Degrees was selected as Bank of America's Neighborhood Champions grant recipient in the North Bay for 2022. The program is invitation only for nonprofits who are ready to take their work to the next level and are at a critical inflection point in their programming. As part of the Neighborhood Champions program, 10,000 Degrees will receive a $50,000 grant and an opportunity to participate in leadership training and networking delivered by experts in the nonprofit sector. So that will help 10,000 Degrees to continue to be a change maker itself, like all of you are, by piloting their new program that puts more students on a career trajectory sooner, closing the gap between academic success and greater economic equality. So congratulations to all of you. I also have the pleasure tonight of announcing the award sponsored by Bank of America of $500 cash for each of the Changemaker attendees here tonight. That's Kayla, Jose, China, Rocio, and Eugene. And we also want to take it one step further with an additional $500 for each awardee to direct to the nonprofit of their choice to support their impact as change makers in the community. So thank you, 10,000 Degrees and alumni, for the impact you're having in the Bay Area and the wider world. We are so proud to partner with you. Thank you.
Amy, thank you so much, and Bank of America so much. It really is such a privilege to be a partner of the banks and to be working with you now on this Neighborhood Champions grant. I do want to take a final moment here to congratulate our alumni changemakers. You've heard from many tonight, but I really just want to call out Kayla and China, Jose, Wendy, and Rocio for all that you're doing, for spreading such immense joy throughout our community and changing the world. I can only imagine all the young people that you cross paths with every day and the change that you're helping them make and the impact that you're having on their lives. So thank you so much. Thank you for being with us. And we are so proud of each of you. Congratulations again. All of you are here tonight because you're each of you, you're a change maker. And what you do can mean everything to a young person and to their future. And our students today, they need us now more than ever. So tonight, I am asking you to think about making a gift that is personally meaningful to you in celebration of all the great work that our change makers are doing and the impact that they're having on so many more students. Your gift to 10,000 Degrees, it is multi-generational. It is having an impact on the student's life, on their families, and on their communities forever. And you can give by just using the text to give. I think a slide is going to come up in just a moment. So think about that, what you can do at year end here in celebration of our alumni changemakers who are out there working so hard to help others. And I will leave you with this. On behalf of all of us at 10,000 Degrees, we wish for you and your family a very healthy and restorative holiday season filled with much love and joy. Thank you so much for being with us, for believing in a better world, and for supporting our students. Good night.